Okay. So can you please state and spell your name?
Matt Flory, Mattflori.
Okay, what's your age?
I'm 21 now.
Okay. And your major?
Physics.
Okay, so do you have any kind of like weird hobbies or stuff you do on the weekend?
I box. I've been boxing for a year and a half now. Do you want multiple or just one?
No, this is great. Just focus on that.
Well, been doing it for a year and a half. I teach it here at Ball State. I'm one of the coaches for Ball State Boxing. And then after that, I also spar at the local gym. It's called Muncie Pal. And I do that Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. And then I coach Monday and Wednesday.
Okay, great. What about boxing has really attracted you to it?
I think the one-on-one part. I played football during high school, and I played basketball, played all those team sports. And it's very frustrating when you do your job, but one person doesn't. And then because of that, the result of that is that your team doesn't do well. Well, in boxing, I only have to really rely on myself. So that's one thing I like. The second thing is really just the fighting in general. Not like because I want to beat someone up or anything like that, but just the fact that it's not really a lot of thinking. Like I said, my major is physics, so I think all the time, and that fries my brain. But here, when I box, it's not really thinking. It's more just instincts and moving my head and moving my body and doing different things because of the fact, not just because I'm thinking about it, because of the fact that it just comes natural.
Okay. Is boxing something that you think that you would like to carry into the future and maybe do after college, or is it something that you do kind of just to stay in shape?
I don't know, I think it's kind of both. I started boxing to get in shape. I lost 27 pounds from doing boxing, and then when I took it to the next level and started to spar and really get in the ring, I wanted to become an amateur boxer. Not because I wanted to make money off of it or doing like that, because, well, I'm not that good, but, but if I could, I would, but my parents said that I couldn't become an amateur boxer because I had to focus on school. And until they stop paying for half my college, I won't be able to box. I thought about doing it after school, and it would really have to be based on the fact of if I have time for it, because I want to become a teacher. So that takes up a lot of time. But worst comes to worst, if I can't actually box and spar, I could always coach it at a high school or something like the PAL has right now.
Okay, yeah, you said you want to be a teacher. Do you think that, kind of like going with the boxing, do you think that people can take boxing and take life lessons from it? And if so, what are some of those lessons?
Oh, definitely. I think one thing is dedication to something. When you box, it's not like you just show up in the ring and you're just the best person there. You're just born with that talent. You have to be dedicated to it. I know people that go to the PAL or go to the club, no experience at all, and the next thing you know, throughout week after week after week of keep doing it and keep going, they become way better and way more physically fit. So dedication's definitely one. Another one is willpower, and I'm saying this more towards when you're actually sparring, because when you're in there and one round is for us it's 3 minutes. Yeah. First round might not be too hard. The second round, you're starting to feel exhausted. And the third round, it really isn't how fit you are. It's just the fact of a mental game of, hey, I'm not going to give up here. There's this guy in the ring across from me. I'm not going to give up and be a bad partner for him and stop. I'm going to keep going and push myself past it. So there's definitely that. And there is a little bit of teamwork also, because there's other people in outside the ring, kind of cheering you on or telling you what to do. And it is a one-on-one sport, but when you have a team like that, it's a lot of people kind of helping each other out.
Gotcha. And has boxing kind of helped you in other areas of your life more than just giving you something to do in your off time?
Can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, no problem. Like, does boxing help you emotionally, mentally, more than just physically and something to do in your off time?
A little bit. I mean, a little bit mentally. If I ever have like a bad test, or I did homework and I did terrible on it, and I come home and I'm just like, video games aren't doing it or whatnot, I'll just go out and I'll go to the rec, or I'll go to the pal and I'll actually box there, and it just kind of like releases a bunch of tension for me mentally, and like clear my head.
Yeah.
And like I said, like a lot of times I'll study for 6 hours a day for a test the next day, and my brain will be fried, and it'll just be mentally exhausting. And to like kind of get over that and kind of like cool down, I'll go and I'll box, and it'll just kind of like help my whole brain and whatnot kind of just unload. So yeah, a little bit, but it's mainly physically.
Okay. Shoot, what was I gonna ask? Oh, is there anything that you want to say to people who might view boxing as too violent, or like, what do you think when people say that to you?
Well, this is actually exactly what my parents said to me, and the reason why they didn't want me to box. And I would say is that boxing has changed a lot in the last couple of years, not last, but the last 10, 20 years, because of the fact that they've put in new rules, especially for amateur boxers, and they've really stuck to those rules. So a couple of them are like, amateurs now, they have to wear like headgear and mouthpieces and things like that. And there's another thing called an 8 count, where someone gets hit 8 times in a row, the ref will actually stop the fight. Well, if he gets hit 8 times in a row without like responding back, the ref will actually stop the fight, make sure the fighter's okay, and really go through like a good amount of testing to make sure of it. And if he isn't, he'll call and that usually happens in a lot of amateurs. They'll actually just call it right then and there, just because they don't want to take the chance of it. Because I mean, they're more about safety now. And so there's a couple of rules. And the other thing is that like, when you do get hit in the head, especially with the headgear that you have and the special gloves you have, like if you spar, like you're used to it. You're used to just getting hit, and it doesn't really faze you anymore. So unless you really get hit like out of nowhere and someone's like super strong, which I mean, if you spar with someone that's about the same weight, like you kind of figure out how strong everyone is. You really don't get hurt that much, and a lot of it is also kind of how you're like, what fighting style you are. If you're a very defensive fighter and you can move your head and you can block very, very well, it doesn't really hurt that much. Well, if you're just someone that just throws haymakers left and right, well, you might get hurt a little bit more.
Okay, great. Can I just get an email for like contact for possible follow up?
Yeah, sure. It's MG Flory, FLORI, at bsu.edu.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yep, no problem.